When you create a village, there's very little chance that a community, true village, small city, whatever you want to call them, is going to disappear. You hardly ever see that. Once in a blue moon you may read in Yahoo that there's a ghost town that's gone away. Cities only go away if the railroad pulled up stakes, the manufacturing plant pulled up stakes, the steel mills moved away. And even then, the community doesn't necessarily disappear, but it's impacted greatly, but it still survives. Most of the time, it's going to survive, and that's because of the environment that is there. It's people, it's the village, it's the community.
You cannot aspire to a sustainable planet if you still have people that cannot even get clean water. If you don't have the health, you're not going to have a community working toward the betterment of the whole, which I think ties into a village concept. If you don't know your neighbors and you haven't declared yourself native, you're only worried about yourself. You're gated in your community. You're safe. That's what matters.
I know that it took me a little while to understand it, but once I did, that's how I wanted to live. That's how I wanted my family to live. That's how I wanted to live. I realized how badly we've missed it. The sense of belonging, the sense of community, being able to be connected together, which is how we were meant to be. It's how it's been for thousands of years in villages and smaller areas where people knew each other and interacted together, and it all fed together organically. How different that is for us to be behind the gates, where you drive to go get some toothpaste at a corner store, and you drive back behind your gated community, and you never know who your neighbors are. The sense of disassociation that happens, the sense of we don't really care where we live, let's just move, let's go find another house. So that, when I fully understood it, I realized that's the way we should be living.
I really think that we're on to something. Jeff has had a tremendous idea, a tremendous vision, and I think this whole idea of NeoRetroism is the answer for the future development of not just the United States and communities with the United States, but all over the world.
Jeff's goal and vision was really not to create something new at all. He wasn't trying to be an entrepreneur in the development sense. What he was really trying to do is he wanted to go back and bring something that had been lost, that was now extinct, certainly in our country, that he had seen so vividly and so many times in other parts of the world, where there was just based on the mechanics of those villages, a far greater sense of family, a far greater sense of neighbors, a greater sense of just intimacy within the environment that you lived in. He wanted to bring that back. It wasn't that Jeff wanted to create something different. He wanted to bring back something that had been lost, really the lost art of living and living well.
I am the worst segregator in our society. As an individual, I've built 15,000 residential home sites. That's miles and miles and miles of pavement without taking the time in really understanding the topography or how people will interact in the future. I have left it up to an architect or a junior architect or a junior engineer, civil engineer to lay out streets and lay out houses. It's sad, but knowing it's wrong is the beginning to know how to do it right. And if you can see that it's wrong, then at least we can start making the step forward on doing it right. whole new way of thinking for us in America in the last 100 years.